I'm not a mummy. Um, Two girls, another one on the way, so I am in trouble, but that's okay. I'm 6'5", so I should be able to fend off most of the boys in a few years. Yeah, I did go to university. I took 1 year off after high school, hit the workforce. I love working. I've been working on farms and stuff. Grew up in a very small town. I still know everybody there and everyone's siblings and parents and all that, so that's cool. And so I moved maybe an hour from my hometown. Went to university, really just to play volleyball to start. I went there to not get an education in school, but get an education. Went there for 7 years. Basically took as many courses as I needed to play volleyball. I love school. I'm good at school. I'm smart. I learn very quickly. I don't really need to buy the textbooks. But you know what? I knew a lot of friends who got degrees, have degrees, and don't use their degrees, at least not to what they're trained in. So they use their degrees as a stepping stone to maybe what they're passionate about, or a lot of people just chase a paycheck, and that's okay if you're okay with that. I wasn't okay with that. I needed more, and a job wasn't cutting it. The education point, I could quit work, and I got friends that might watch this later who work in the oil fields. I could go up there tomorrow and make $250,000 a year just because I know people. But that's no quality of life. I want to see my kids grow up. That's one of my passions, is be there for my kids, my wife, and it's cool. It's rewarding. Right now, I work for this company, Sidewinder. We build wheelchair accessible vehicles, and I was in this industry when I started working here at Sidewinder, in the networking, MLM, whatever you guys want to call it, a franchise type business. And I really loved the way that the more I grew myself and grew other people within my team, within my organization, the more I got paid essentially. So I was getting paid to educate myself in business, in just growing myself as a person, self-confidence, everything like that. And now stepping into the business school we have, it's just opened my world to a whole another way. I took a few business courses in school, and they teach you selling. They teach you business, how to run a business, but they don't teach you real world business. This type of business, for those of you who don't know, network marketing is the most lucrative business in the world for your average Joe. Me, I went to school, like I said, 7 years, and I'm not a doctor. I would consider myself fairly average on that side of things. And I know I've made some substantial money. My wife hasn't worked since 8 months pregnant with our first, so that's coming up well, over 5 years now. And really, the only way we've been able
Congratulations.
to do that, yeah, thank you, is really to supplement the income. I mean, I make good money at my day job, but she was a very successful hairstylist, and we made a decision to for her to stay at home, and here we are. The business schools really opened up the language on this industry, and really not just, I don't sell a product. I really don't. I build the person. As we've all heard before, anyone who's seen this, you build the person and they'll build the business. The products sell themselves. We have products now that at least someone who needs one of our products. And then our new products that we've got some hints on, they're gonna just help a whole lot more people.
Yeah,
So
I can't
it's
wait
great.
for that. That's going to be exciting. And I mean, and that's another, aspect that I'm just learning because this is the first time I've been in this industry. But we just had a training last month with Frank Sochernik was in town and
Mhm.
Daniel Picu. And every time that the company basically launches a new product, so that will just drop money into your business too, because your customers are going to try that, and you really, that's the passive income
True.
behind it too, because your team is ordering it and they're um, loving it and reusing it. They're sharing it. And so, like you said, it's that exponential growth, and your business just expands without you really having to put in that effort or punching in a clock and trading your time for dollars. So,
It's true.
um,
The definition of passive income is money that you don't have to. be a part of to make. You have an initial investment of your time, and you don't have any of your time involved to continue to make that money. I don't continue if Diane's in my business, I don't need to call her every month and say, hey, get your order of your core complete multis. It just automatically goes, and if she has a problem, she doesn't call me. She calls corporate and they deal with everything. It's fantastic. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm actually a certified nutritionist for about 5 years now.
Oh,
So
that's
nutrition,
awesome.
right up my alley. I love. Kylie can't see. Well, hopefully someone can see. I don't know what's going on, but it's just you and I talking. That's okay.
Yeah, hopefully when we finish and I it'll upload. If not, we'll definitely revisit because this is really good stuff. And I think part of our hearts as entrepreneurs too, and like you said, building people is to share our knowledge, share our experience.
Hmm.
And if somebody can learn a thing or two, right, we're all in this to help each other get to the top. And
It's
that's what
true.
I love about our industry. So thank you for that. So, and then also I wanted to congratulate you on your gold cruise
Thank
last
you.
month. I saw all the pictures and videos of you guys having a good old time. So if you want to just share about your free 99 gold cruise that you earned.
99, yeah. Yeah, that cruise was, I'd never been on a cruise, and it was very sad that my wife couldn't be there. She was like 1 week too pregnant to go on a cruise, so the doctors advised her not to go. So that wasn't fun. But the cool thing about the cruise is I can get it every year. So she'll be coming next year, maybe with a slightly newborn child. We'll see. We'll see how things work. But yeah, that cruise, you really got to connect with different people on the corporate side or in the business side, not necessarily in my personal with our organization of Overcome Nation, but there's just so many people you can connect with in different avenues of life. Like, I was hanging out with say Tristan and Kyle. They're both like working in the oil field type business. They're hands-on guys working machinery, long hours away from family. And then you have people in the corporate world, stay-at-home moms. So you really can connect with people who can connect with your network. Like not everyone's gonna connect with me being a professional half-ass student, and that's okay. And I'm okay with that. You know, I'm still me regardless of what other people think of me. So that's the way I see it.
I
So
love it.
going on
So, and
that
then
cruise,
go
it
ahead.
wasn't just hey, here's a little tiny cruise. This was a 15-story boat. It was I'd never seen a boat this big. I'm sure the Titanic was half the size of this thing. Like it dwarfed other boats in the harbor there. And like the dinners were comped. Like a lot of times the buffets are included, but our CEO down, he paid for 95 of us to go. He paid for excursions on Coco Cay Island. He paid for obviously the room, the food, and just top-notch experience. The staff, and just you get to connect with the people making serious coin in this business. Seven-figure earners. You really get to connect with them. They're people. They're Frank Soshnick. I believe he was a plumber back in the day. Plumber.
Right.
He was a hands-on guy. He did a labor job. He may have owned the business, but he did the work. And now him and his wife, Frank and Cindy, have created and helped hundreds of people create such lucrative streams of passive income. It's amazing.
Yeah, they're just awesome, genuine, humble people too. That I mean, it's just hard, having an interview like this in a one-on-one conversation with you. But when you're in the room and you know what I mean, and you feel that energy, you see their heart come out, and through their eyes. I mean, they're just. I'm blown away every time I spend time with Frank and Cindy, and I'm looking forward to that again here the end of this month in Orlando. Are you going to Orlando?
I can't know my the due date for number three is like the week after that, so I
Okay.
wouldn't be a very
Okay.
good husband if I left her high and dry when the baby's coming.
Yeah, that
I
wouldn't
may
be
be a
good.
lot of things, but a bad husband is not one of them.
That's awesome. So, well, that's exciting. So, let me ask you this too. So, we talked about education and the personal development. Who are you loving
Yeah.
right now? I know that we read so much material. There's podcasts and stuff. Who are you digging right now? Who would you highly recommend for somebody
On
that wants
like
to
an
get inspired and
education,
motivated? Yeah.
like a motivation side or education side?
Well, for both. Like, what are you doing? What are you plugged into right now?
Well, I have so many audiobooks. I just finished The Five Love Languages, which is great
Mm.
because I love people and not everyone connects with me on my language. So learning how other people communicate emotionally is really huge for this industry. You know, it's going to make me a better husband, father, friend, a mentor, mentee, everything like that. Um, and then you can't go wrong with like a Grant Cardone. He's got so many books on business. He's a powerhouse. Unreal. I mean, I could name 100 names. I did a live not too long ago, and he was at one of our or several of our conferences now. Chris Dunham, he's a powerhouse. He was one of two personally trained executive mentors from Zig Ziglar himself. So Mr. Dunham's changed a lot of people, and I like to see how I can add value to those people. Actually, one I've been listening to daily, and I recommend it. He's actually an NFL retired NFL punter for New York. Steve Weatherford. He had Rex Crane on his show the other. He's got some big powerhouses, and he's a professional athlete. He was the fittest guy in the NFL. So you think his head would be huge, right? I mean, he's made multi-millions of dollars, but he really dives in and is so vulnerable on his show and the content he has, it just makes you think every time.
You know what? That's funny you say that. I just, well, about a month ago, there's an event that's put on here in San Diego, and they may be in other parts of the world too. It's
Yeah.
a company, well, I guess it's like a business mentoring and building, like coaching
Hmm.
seminar, if you will. It's called Life on Fire. And I went last year. It was a 3-day event. This year, Steve Weatherford and Rex Crane are speaking. And I've been on the fence if I want to go or not. It's right here in San
Go,
Diego.
go. It's in
So,
your
and I
backyard. Go.
love, yes. So I
I
think I
think my
might
buddy
have to
Dave
just,
might be going down.
cool. I mean, I've seen Chris, I forget to say his last name,
Dunham.
Dish Dunham. He's amazing. Love him. And Rex Crane. I mean, what a privilege to have him.
Yeah.
Come and speak at our events too. And I mean, he's just so passionate and so. There's just so much truth and value to what he
Yeah.
has to share. So I love that you're listening to both of those guys, and I should definitely go get my ticket for that event.
Yep. Do it.
And then, so I guess that's kind of like what would you say is your biggest goal? And, not just for network marketing, but like when this is all said and done, what is your biggest, motivation for what you do and why?
My biggest thing is probably to impact and add value to as many people as I can. I was I would always add value to people, making them laugh or however, but I want it to be deeper than that for a lot of people. I want to connect with people. And I've got friends, my buddy Dave, man, he can connect with someone and make them cry in 5 minutes. I might not want to go that deep because that's not me, but I really love connecting to people, hearing their stories, and if there's any way I can add value to them, whether it's like here, read this book, listen to this CD, or whatever it's going to be, the more people I can impact. I don't care if they join my business. I know what I have is amazing without a doubt. But if I can just add value to make them a better parent or a better father, son, mother, brother, however you want to add to them.
Physically. with all your wisdom. I love that. That's very cool. And then, shoot, I don't know. Why don't we end on something kind of off the beaten path here? So,
Sure.
what would you say? I mean, being a father of two little girls and, spending 7 years at university, what would you say was your most embarrassing moment?
Oh, embarrassing. Well, I don't often get embarrassed to say. Other people might get embarrassed for me.
What?
Yeah, I'm weird like that. My most embarrassing moment? Oh, I don't know. Sometimes I do weird stuff like shave handlebar mustache, and that's a tough one. I really don't know because I don't overly get embarrassed. I actually I would rather public speak in front of a bunch of people, but I will say maybe an embarrassing moment that I embarrassed somebody else was actually I was asked to speak at a meeting several years ago, I think 2010. There's about 100 people in the room, and they asked me and my wife to speak, and so she was so worried about talking to people that she didn't see it coming, but I proposed to her in front of about 100 people.
Wow.